Hello, guys. Well, I'm happy to meet you all, and a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, liked, and commented on my previous videos. I am very, very grateful. Now, concerning those comments, I'm happy to see a lot of people adopting a good percentage of your parents' styles. What this means is that your parents did an amazing job raising you. Congratulations. Now, there is something you'd all agree with me. People would like to change in their parents, especially if they suffered it while growing up, and that is extreme or excessive discipline. You see, I understand that discipline is a core part of raising a child. In Nigeria and the world at large, however, we've heard stories of parents crossing the line between discipline and punishment. You know, this excessive discipline has put children in life threatening situations. Worse, we've even had children losing their lives because of the excessive discipline of their parents. Now, you may find it hard to believe, but such extreme forms of discipline would only affect the child's behavior in one way, and that is teaching the child how to be good superficially, superficial goodness, right? The child tries in a bit to avoid further punishment or further forms of pain that they had to go through. The child begins to build a way to live the way you want them to, right? So the child is superficially good. You think you're raising a good individual, you're raising a good child, you think you're doing your best, your child listens when you speak, your child does everything you say word for word, and you think you're doing good as a parent. But what you do not know is that while that is going on, the child is growing, and the root of hatred, resentment, rage is just thriving within the child against you. Now, if it's a one time thing, let's say on a particular day you lose your temper as a parent and then you beat your child excessively, if you just that one time and you regret and apologize, fine. But when it becomes recurring, you are giving your child a whole lot of reasons to hate you. I am telling you. Now, I'm very sure nobody would want to do that to their children. If they went through such hellish treatments, they'd want to do better when they become parents. Yes, that's the whole plan. They want to do better. No, they don't want to suffer. But as they grow, they tend to behave more like their parents. Why? Because a true but problematic fact is that the parenting styles we were subjected to when growing up have a significant impact on our mentality and behaviors as adults. It's in such cases you notice a sort of trend in parenting. For instance, you'd hear people say things like, "My parents never stopped beating me or never stopped disciplining me until I bled." So when I'm beating my child, if I've not seen blood, I've not even done anything. You get, I've not. Why are you crying? I've not even beat you, Seth. I've not beat you. If it's my parents, they must see blood. Those kind of things you hear, and you wonder if these new parents were mind wiped or something and forgot how awful it was growing up and receiving that kind of treatment from their parents who are now grandparents. You get? Anyway, whether you believe it or not, the way we were raised after. Now, to prove to you that these parenting styles affect us, a child who was raised by, let's say, very authoritative parents, okay, very authoritative, the ones whose statements sound like interrogations, whose questions sound like you're being interrogated by the military, those very authoritative parents. If a child is raised by those parents, those children may grow up to be quite shy, very reserved about their emotions or even opinions, because they will grow up in environments where saying something that does not agree with whatever your parent is thinking will land you in deep soup. Okay, so those kind of people get to bottle up their emotions a lot, and we all know bottling up emotions has never done anyone good. Okay, now another instance is that if a child is raised by those self-proclaimed perfectionists as parents, the ones whose way is the perfect way, every other way is wrong. If you're raised by such parents, you may grow up with problems with self-esteem, right? You doubt your every move. When you even have an opinion, you doubt if it's right because you were raised with parents who told you everything you're doing, there's a problem with it. And you may even develop depression. Do you get? And we know how this mental instability can wreck a lot of things in our lives. And wreck lives, for instance, totally. Now, dear fam, there is so much influence, so much unspoken influence of our childhood on our adulthood. It should no longer be ignored. It's not something you think you've grown up and then you totally forget how you were raised. Do not. So please, before you choose to become a parent, consider how you were raised, please. Okay? Parenting extends far beyond financial responsibility. I have money to buy baby milk. I have money to buy diapers. What is there again? Ensure you are mentally and emotionally prepared to cater for that human being you are bringing in. That way, you'll be able to raise children who would not abandon you when you become less useful, when you age, or when they become sufficiently independent. Okay, we've heard of people who aged very sadly and died really lonely, even when they had children doing well. If you trace some of those things, who knows? They were not very responsible for their children. Okay, so please, these things are everything we should consider. We must do all we can ensure that the kind of suffering you went through are absent in your own time when you're raising your children. It is very, very important. Okay, guys, that was it on public opinion, and it's time for my own case. In my case, what would I change in my parents? Now, I'm grateful to God I was not raised by the violent type. I was not disciplined in any. I don't have a scar on me to show I was ever brutally disciplined, right? Thank God for that. However, there is one thing I'll change in my mother. Now, I'm saying my mother because I lost my father very, very early on. Although I did hear stories, he was this social butterfly, quite social. But my mother, the direct opposite. Okay? Now, you may not consider this very important. Some might even laugh at it, but it's something I've thought about over time, and I consider I am definitely going to do it differently. Now, guys, 6 years in a secondary school, I'm not even counting primary, now let's say I was not self-aware then. 6 years in a secondary school, my mother did not attend one ceremony. One. See those PTA meetings that, the one day you get to see your mom. I went to a day school, right? So those PTA meetings are the one time you get to see your mom and gist and show your friends and brag. Not my mother. And then graduation ceremony came. He thought, going to show all the prizes I'm going to win in this secondary school. Yes, I'm going to brag. My mom is going to be here. She didn't show up. And then you gain admission and think definitely she will come. University education is not easy to start. Guess what, guys? You're right. She didn't come. And then you go through 4 years and think, I did well. I made all my efforts. God helps me. I'm going to graduate well. I'm going to show. Convocation. She didn't come either. Yes, that's my mother for you. Right now, I hope she does not see this video. Else, I'm going to be the topic of my family's group chat slam in the next couple of weeks. Okay? Because I'm very sure I'm not the only child she did that to. Okay? I casually call her the king of the jungle. The king of the jungle never leaves the jungle. So I tell her house is the jungle. She doesn't leave for anything. It's too stressful. Maybe she had other things more important. Maybe there's a mental skill of preference in her head somewhere that tells her these things are not important. just fashion them and do something else. But guys, I'm going to do that differently. You know why? Because I really, really wanted to brag on those days. I really wanted to this to show everybody that this is my mother. Oh. She's the one that paid school fees. That's why I'm here like this. But I couldn't do it. Something else. Those parties she did not attend are the reason I do not have a single decent picture with my mother. What am I saying decent? I don't have a single picture with my mother. Except those Snapchat videos you do once in a while and then you just try to turn the camera so her face will just enter. You get. So that is one thing I'm going to change. This is for my children. My people. I am going to cook food. Intercontinental and continental. I'm going to charter a very big vehicle, load people, and go to their school for whatever celebration they're having. Is it matriculation? Is it graduation? Right from primary school, I'm already doing all that. Yes, I will. If they like, they should say mommy is embarrassing them. I do not give a hoot. I'm going to show up. Yes, because I want to get as many photos as possible with my children. As many. I want to be present for every little victories. Now, don't get me wrong. My mom is super proud of me. As a matter of fact, those ceremonies she did not attend, she has all the news, all the details of everything that happens there. She knows she has all the updates. Information is not her problem. She knows everything. She will brag to everybody that cares to listen of your achievements. She will say it. In fact, when she's giving the gist, she will say it as if she was there. When you're coming home, she will cook for you and pepper you. It will be all smiles, all joy, everything grinning from ear to ear. That one is not hard for my mother to do. But my people, I would have really, really preferred if she was there. Now, you will not consider this a big deal in parenting. But for me, I would definitely do this differently because, I want to be there when my children are celebrated. I want to be present. Life is very unpredictable. I'm not going to say short. If you're expecting to hear life is short, no. Life is unpredictable. Okay? Now, I want to be in many photos with my children. I want to be present when they are celebrated. I want to give the loudest applause when they are winning something, when they are being congratulated. I want my voice to be the loudest, no matter how small it is. Take these seemingly unimportant things, reflect. In hindsight, what do you think? What did your parents ever do at one point in time that you felt slightly bad? You grew up, yes, you made excuses for them. You thought definitely they had their reasons as parents. After all, whatever our parents do, we want to believe it's from a place of love, right? But please take out time, consider, reflect. Is there something I'll do differently? Is there something I'll change? Is there something I'll copy? Our parents are, as much as they are not perfect, there were really some good times. If you think, you'd also remember those good times. Okay, so please remember, it's all in a bid for you to become better parents. Now, if you raise good children from when they are still children, you would enjoy the rest of your life as a parent into old age. Life will be easy. You get? And that's the whole aim of this channel. A little bit of ease, adding a little bit of ease to life, right? Now, that will be all for today. Yes, thank you very much for listening and watching. I hope you have learned something. Also, don't forget to like this video, share your comments, share your thoughts. If there's something you think you do differently that you think may be peculiar to you, you want us to learn from your experiences, please do share. As long as our parents do not watch this video, I think we're safe. So guys, remember, like, share, comment, subscribe, and until I come your way again, you too can thrive like a lily. See you soon, guys.